Hello and welcome to our chapter. We're gonna for chapter 8, project quality management, one of the subsidiaries of the PMI PMP examinations. We're gonna be providing with this chapter so that will enable you to pass and answer the questions of the PMP exam quality and as well to implement it into your organization. So basically, when we look onto the quality management, we're going to be looking on defining the terms of quality, identifying responsibilities for the project team towards quality, the impact of poor quality, understanding between the plan quality and quality management and control quality, processes that are required in the plan quality, the typical ISO standards in quality such ISO 9000, defining the term of cost of quality, comparison in between the cost of conformance and non-conformance, explaining different types of quality charts such as the control charts, the bill model curve, run charts, explaining the sigma and its types and its normal distribution curve used, explaining Ishikawa the 7 basic rules, right, with the fishbone diagram, explaining the quality management process, and then at the end of every chapter we have what we call situation questions. So when we look onto the defining of the quality, so it is the degree of perfection that is you provide with fulfilling your project requirements and meeting your stakeholder satisfaction. So when we look onto the quality in the old times, the understanding of quality is to provide a product, right, with zero defect honesty, right? But one of the things became evolved no further, the quality was understood as being meeting the specs of your client, making him satisfied, meeting his expectations most importantly. So in that way, we do have what we call a quality management. It is the managing the quality. So it is setting your policy and procedures, setting the rules of the game, right? How I'm going to be implementing the quality standards and impose them into that project, right? What are the measurements I'm going to use? What are the types of quality standards I'm going to use? I'm going to use a regression. I'm going to smoke testing, right? How I'm going to perform the quality assurance, what's called the managed quality, how I'm going to perform the inspection, how the tools are going to be used for inspection. So do we have from the 47 processes in our project management, right? We have what we call the plan quality, the setting your policy and procedures for managing your quality. We have the managed quality, which is the quality assurance, and we have the control quality, which is the inspection and the measurement assessment. So we do have what we call quality theorists, such as Joseph Juran, J and J for short. Now, he defined quality as being 80 by 20 principles. So it means that 20% of the problem, if you solve them, you will be able to solve 80%. As well, he said that top management, it's their main rule to get the quality implemented into the organization. As well, he defined the quality as being the fitness for use. So it means that if you have a product, right? Let's say if you are having a car, so your expectations that the car it goes from 0 to 60 in, let's say, in 5 seconds or 6 seconds, right? So if the product was advertised on that, right, and promoted that it from 0 to 60, right, you will take it in 6 seconds, so it should fulfill that requirement. So he also believed that fitness for use, right? So that's the example of the car. Similarly, in the software, right, the a stakeholder they expect a working software, right? So they expect that when they type their username and password, they should be able to log on. If they click on the log out, they should be logged out, right? So Edward Deming, right, he is another theorist who defined quality as being the 14 steps of total quality management. And as well, he introduced the Plan, Do, Check, Act, which is the process cycle, life cycle. So in the project process groups, we do have what we call the initiation, but in the processes, we say it's the start. And in the project process groups, we have the planning, which is we do have the plan in the process, and we have the execution in the process groups. We have the do. We have in the process groups monitor controls. We call it the check in the processes. Act, it means it's the closure you're going to be applying for quality measure. Now, Philip Crispy, he had a different opinion. He said that quality is about the concept of cost of poor quality, which is cost of conformance, cost of quality, cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. So he's looking on to the cost of non-conformance, right? The cost of poor quality being advocated. He has well look on also on the concept of having prevention over inspection. So it means you need to take measures and you need to act before the issue occurs instead of issue occurring and then fixing, taking the corrective. As well, he believed the defect tendency always should be zero of your bugs, right? As well, he looked onto the quality from the perspective. It is the cost of conformance, right? It means that you need to spend onto the cost, invest your money onto training, onto inspections, on research work instead of non-conformance, which is defect repair or rework. Taguchi is another scientist. He believed the robustness of the product, and that is basically if you take your mobile and throw it from 100 to 200 meters, and if it breaks, so the quality has not been achieved. But why, if it withstands that impact, it means quality has been achieved that way. Kazan is as well a Japanese scientist who looks on to the continuous improvement, and Kea, it means to alter, and Zain, it means to keep on improving throughout the process. Gold plating is a terminology. It means giving extra to your customer or to your stakeholders in order to impress them so that they give you another project. Now that has negative consequence. First of all, you're going to give them extra functionality, higher quality components. They had never asked for it, extra scope or better performance. That will cause you paying sunk costs, paying more extra, scope creep, scope being going nowhere. It's expanding, and the project doesn't have any definition anymore. Now, as we stated, that prevention, taking a preventive measure, is more better than having the inspecting. So you need to respond before the issue occurs, okay, more than inspecting and then fixing. So remember in your exam, whenever you have a question, is it better to inspect to find the problems to prevent them in the right place? You need to know that quality must be planned and it's not being inspected. Remember, we do have what we call marginal analysis. Margin analysis in simple, if I draw, right, a curve that way, okay? So if I have right here my quality, and I have, okay, quality will be downwards, and I have right here my cost increment in dollars, whatever currency you would like, okay? Y-axis, X-axis, right? And let me get my, and once more again. So it means here the margin analysis. It says that at 0 point level, okay, so if I have my 0 right here, so at a point I'm investing, so my quality on the other side, it's going up, the more I invest, my quality, but I will not keep on investing till I go nowhere. I should stop at a point right here, right, which we call it the marginal analysis. And this is the point in which the benefit has been achieved according to the cost that has been spent. So we call it the marginal. So we say that quality has been achieved at that level. Right. So this is what we call the margin analysis. So margin analysis, it refers looking onto the point where you look onto the benefits, okay, or revenue to be received from improving quality equals to the incremental cost you have achieved in that quality. Now, when we look onto the term of just in time, in inventory always has to be zero so that in order to prevent the contamination of your product and the defect repair of your product. So many companies finding holding raw materials in the inventory, it is expensive and it's unnecessary. So instead, they need to have suppliers, okay, to deliver raw material just when they are needed before they are needed and decrease the inventory to zero. So always, you don't, I mean, when I was working with Egypt Gold, right, providing with a project and ERP solution, Accepta ERP systems. So when we went to the inventory, I always see that only the safety cars, they come and they take from the shelves the gold that has been produced and directly goes to the gold shops. So this is what we called it right just in time. So they prevent any contamination or defect repair on their product. So this is part of chapter quality. If you would like to have the full chapter with me, so you can contact me on 0-760-6548 or 01010-885633, and we'll provide you with the quality management as well with the whole set of the PMP exams, scope management, communication, procurement integration, and the agile-based learning, the 15 chapters, right, to pass you the PMP exam. And I'm always with you till you pass the exam, guaranteed 100% if you follow my road and direction. Thank you very much. This is Muhammad Ahmed Zaki, PMO Director and Online Expert Consultant and on-site. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon.